What's on the agenda?
Yeah, but so executive is fine. Yeah, so I think that we're like next month is the commission meeting. I'm not sure. Eric, is next month the commission meeting?
What's up?
Is next month the next big commission?
I think so.
So if we could do it for next month,
In my head.
I'll email you tomorrow, but if we count on tonight for the next month commission, we can do it here, that's okay. See for the executive.
The next meeting.
We have
That's not an issue.
we have to discuss that because of the requirement that we post all meetings on a
That's what we're
location.
But the ones that are just, we're gonna be releasing, so I don't know what those are. Like the windows are going.
Right.
We have to come up with a post to go to for a general proposal.
Right, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's in June, September, December, March, right?
So for this month, you can announce for it's for June for next month, so that. And then your end will be September. Big elections coming up this year, so.
We already discussed that in the last, the posts. Do you remember?
Right. Oh, yeah, but.
How about we just?
Yeah, we
let's
really
start the
should-
meeting.
let's have-
We're having a discussion.
I'm just
All right.
trying to make sure when I'm talking about this in my progress.
All right, it is May 10th, 2022. Time is 5:13 p.m.
All right, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. Let's begin with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Our opening prayer, anybody volunteer to bless this meeting for us today?
Heavenly Father, watch over us today, that we make the right decisions for our organization and for all the people we represent, as present and past members of the armed forces. This we have here. Amen.
Thank you very much. All right, let's begin with our roll call for attendees.
Okay, President Jack Piccolo is en route, so we'll leave it blank. Vice President seat is vacant. Secretary Denise Williams, present. Sergeant at Arms Amanda Coe.
Here,
Chaplain Jim Singler. En route? We don't know. Absent for now. Member Tom Milnick. Absent. Member Janet Blue.
Yeah.
Member Steve Benke. Past Chair Vic Martinka.
Present.
Past Chair John Kessel.
Yep.
Past Chair John York. Absent. Past Chair Wayne Horn.
Here.
all right, so let's introduce our guests again, who are first time attendees. I think we're gonna do it this way. We haven't called your
I'm
name.
sorry, it has not been updated, so we have to update and add in our judge advocates. Here is the last.
Okay. All right, so let's do it this way. If your name has not already been called, let's go around the room and introduce yourself and why you're here to be today. Let's start all the way in the back, sir. That's you.
So my name is Raj Bly. I'm an alternate delegate here with Will, so he's going to do the talking. I'm a finance officer here at the Legion. I'm also a trained for the Legion. So just came to see how the meeting is going.
Awesome, thank you. Appreciate the space today.
Hi, my name is Joe Mayo. I'm just interested party here, taxpayer, and I'm also the director of the Legion Writers Post and accounting manager.
Great, thanks for coming.
Rob Langone, Post 935 Manhattan, John Fleming.
Rob and Joan, so like,
Go.
And gone.
And I'm sorry, which legion?
935.
935, thank you very much, sir.
My replacement.
Me? My name is William Sutton. I'm the delegate, so should be a board member, for Plainfield American Legion Post. I'm also a service officer out of Kendall County. I'm also the judge advocate for the Illinois Association of County Veterans Assistance Commissions and the chairman of the Veterans Affairs Task Force. Which one? The judge advocate for the Illinois Association, the other veteran service officer.
Okay, this is second to last.
So, I've got delegate for the LRC, VSO Kendall County, Judge Advocate IAC, VAC, and what?
The chairman of the Veterans Ailment Task Force.
Veterans what?
Ailment Task Force.
Ailments.
For the state of Illinois.
That's a big deal.
Hi, I'm Anthony. I work for DAC.
In what role?
I am the executive assistant for.
So we're really excited to have her next month. She's gonna start taking the notes, so that.
God bless you.
Yeah. Jen, go ahead.
I know
you said yourself anyway.
Dental and assistant superintendent VAC.
Eric Babcock, the interim superintendent of the VAC.
Chris Wise, Old County State's Attorney's Office.
I don't know who everybody is.
He's still over the state's attorney.
He's just very well. I was gonna say, if your name's Wise, you just have to become an attorney.
Sure.
That's how it works, yeah. All right, do you have any public comment
Yes.
on any agenda items?
I have a question.
Sure.
There's an item that maybe it'll be discussed under old business. Special Executive Committee Selected Legal Services of Tom and Grady. I am still confused. What are we doing with Tom and Grady?
I think
Who
that I
is
would,
he? And why, who does he represent?
We will discuss that.
yeah, I think we're gonna save it for that agenda item, but I'm with you, let's talk about it.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I was, realized there's a Facebook posting regarding a raffle regarding some teams that were donated to our Patriots.
That wasn't donated to our Patriots, that was donated to the VAC, because our Patriots can't accept donations like that.
Our Patriots can accept donations, but you can't use them.
VAC cannot.
The
I was-
VAC cannot.
Okay, I was going through emails that Christie and Deal worked with, what was his name again? Ricky Whitley. And, we got the clearance from him to go ahead and use it as a contest, use it for the contest.
I don't think so. If they went to the, our Patriots, it's a tax exempt board. That's not even legal.
Okay.
You can't do that. It's not workable, you can't do that.
As far as I could tell from the emails that I was going through, sifting through Christie's email addresses, it was given to the VAC and not our Patriots. But in light of that, we'll take care of it. We'll get, that won't be an issue.
We don't want to lose our taxes.
Right. Have to look into any, if there, what documentation came with those. Right now, Christie's, organizational structure was in her head. She did a good job of keeping it straight, but it didn't always, expand to the rest of us. So,
Let's go back to what you just said. The VAC can't accept it, but the commission can. We're not. Why? You shaking your head, why? We aren't part of the company. The commission is just a board.
It's used as the VAC, the Veterans Assistance Commission accepts a lot of donations.
Right.
But maybe not Raccoon Law.
We're not wrapping.
You just
It's not
said
a
wrap.
wrap.
There's
You
no
said
money
the
involved.
VAC can't accept that.
No, I said the VAC could accept it. It was my understanding that our Patriots couldn't accept something like that.
No, our Patriots can accept it.
So the ones.
But we can't.
I'm going off the conversation that
I mean, the only reason I say we can't let you get it, we haven't voted, I didn't even know.
I didn't think it was our Patriots, I thought it was a donation made to the VAC.
That's what I understand. So I would respectfully ask you to hold off, because we're not gonna meet until next month. Yeah, once we can get some clarification.
Okay.
That's fair. Thank you
All right.
for bringing that
Might
up.
be.
Were you gonna weigh in on that? Got any information for us?
Oh, I mean, the VAC can always accept donations, they just can't accept like a person. I can't give Jen $20. I can't give Eric $1. But unless it's for a donation, like a raffle, like, then the VAC can. But when he was saying, I had no idea, I didn't know about it. So I don't know. But
Well, the question is not whether about VAC, the question is, if I understood, it was donated to the Patriots.
And I was on the consent that it was not donated to our Patriots, it was donated, it was initially gonna be donated to our Patriots, but wasn't able to do that for some reason.
I'm not
just
saying
going off
we're
what I
gonna
was.
have all this documentation just for our
I
VAC.
don't, yeah, all I've got are emails, I don't think there was any documentation that came.
No, that's my surprise.
Yeah. But we get a lot of donations with no documentation, so it's not anything that I even give second thought to it being.
I'm only questioning it because I understood it was donated to our Patriots.
Okay, and I will definitely look into, get an absolute on who specifically received that, whether it was our Patriots or the VAC.
Any other public comment?
what's the timeline?
I'm only gonna tell you to shut up if you're yourself.
Not repeat myself, I promise you. So, obviously, in light of, William Sutton,
I got you.
Okay.
That's why we did the introduction, so we don't have to worry about it.
Gotcha. In light of everything that took place and, that guy putting out the stuff about what happened, with the money, obviously there's been investigations that have been opened up, and I'm just speaking as the service officer for this post and the delegate for this post. One, I don't know why Tom Millen is still on this board, because he's not a delegate or an alternate whatsoever.
Just for another veterans organization,
What other veterans organization?
40 and
Oh, he's on that?
8. Yeah, he's a 40 and 8.
So he was representing two people at one time?
No, once he was taken off, he was put on a 40 and 8, because
Okay.
as an elected executive, he was elected in the position.
Right.
So you can't be on the board unless you are elected to the position. So once you take the election to the executive board, you vacate the seat. So technically, those seats could be replaced.
Wrong, sir. The only person that falls under Article 6, Section 7 of your bylaws, the president is the only one that's not. Nobody else. So if there's anybody that's not represented by a federal or state charter veterans organization, they can't move into a different seat. They can't. Your bylaws only state the president is the only person that can do that. We were under the impression that Tom was still representing the post. That's why I asked that.
Right. They got that switched shoulder because it was a vacant seat.
Gotcha.
The other organizations.
And then how come all the board members and anybody that come who's possession?
I am
You're one
a
running it?
ranking person right now until our president gets here, because he was rerouted by.
Traffic and everything else. Okay. And please, Jen, Eric,
Yeah.
Anna, please don't take this as it's Kendall County coming after Will County. It's not. I don't want you guys to think that what's
I
happening.
encourage questions. Makes us rethink our answers and make sure we're right.
Right.
Make sure we're good.
I just want to put that out there. It's not Kendall County coming after Will County. It's not. It's me as representative of the post. How come the only people, from what I've seen when it comes to board meetings, the only people that get to vote is the executive committee? When the whole board is supposed to be able to vote.
That's not the way our bylaws are written.
Which part is, I have the bylaws here, and I'm going through them.
Those are the amendments to the bylaws, not the entire copy.
This big packet. Well, Eric, you gotta remember this, your bylaws are just like my bylaws, and Lake County bylaws, Rankin County bylaws, all of our bylaws are the same, so I know the bylaws, and on the MVAA, it even states that all board members have to vote. But all board members have to vote.
Okay.
Because I've been a delegate for a while, now. I didn't mention. I've been a delegate for a couple months. Never once have I been mentioned, never once have I had anything. So that's another question.
Alright, so it's a question, let's get into the bylaws.
Yes.
Okay.
Also,
Because nobody shows up, we need a good answer.
I think that's the problem.
That's a good
When we went
one.
to
Stop
full
reading my
commission,
mind.
we never had quorum,
gotcha.
so we had to go to an executive board for voting purposes.
Right, no,
So we
absolutely.
could make sure that we had quorum, could actually get something done.
So-
Right.
so-
Well, the
yeah,
forum
so-
also partakes in the board, as every.
So here's part of the answer. Most of the meetings, I believe.
Sorry, I can't.
Most of the meetings that you've been to so far, I believe, have been executive board meetings. At executive board meetings and executive board votes, I don't know if you've been here at a full
Oh.
commission meeting.
Yeah.
A full commission meeting is when everybody votes. So, and as Wayne and Eric both have said, that the problem has been getting quorum. So that's why we moved to having executive board meetings every month and quarterly full commission meetings.
Right.
And it's not, and it's literally been just a matter of logistics. So during the pandemic, when everybody was on Zoom, we had 30 people.
Yeah,
It was fantastic.
right. Oh, I
And
remember.
but in reality, because now we're back to reality.
Right.
And it was empty.
Gotcha. Okay. So I could be good on that. I thought the VAC meetings were every month.
The VAC
Like the whole
has,
commission.
yeah,
That's what I
the
thought.
commission's whole meeting happens once a quarter.
Gotcha.
Monthly meetings are the executive board meetings. We also have an additional sometimes executive meetings
Right.
as needed.
Yeah.
And that would be why I'm looking forward to having a very long list of people to go through for votes.
No, absolutely.
Mostly because I won't have to be telling them, sorry, I'm free.
This is great.
And our judge advocate has something to say.
Yay,
Yay,
Jack.
Jack!
So I was pointing out that Article 5, Section 5, does in fact say each organization shall be entitled to one vote. So, which may be passed by the member organization delegate. So he is
Right.
represented by those larger.
So then we have to be more meetings, full commission meetings. Now, here's the next question as far as that. Each member organization there has been a question, and I don't know, Amanda, you might remember this or have better information on this. There's been a question about if you've got 4 different Legion organizations, there's only one Legion vote, there's only one VFW vote, no matter how many VFWs. This was a question that was brought up to me and I didn't have an answer for
I have an
that.
answer for
It
that.
says all posts,
Okay, that's, I wanted
just
to
4
clear.
chapters.
I'll say it again
I have
for
the
the
answer to
record,
that.
Lisa.
Oh, okay.
All posts,
But there is,
What
when
color
she was
that?
talking about, I know exactly what you're talking about, Denise. If there's a, let's say like a Cook County, where they have 50 million posts, they can all come together as individual organization and cast their vote to one person, and that one person does make the vote for it. But that, how it was written was, there's a huge amount of votes. So yes, you are correct.
Again, I wanted that on the record,
Yep.
in the minutes, thank you, Lisa.
And then, this is gonna sound really, really bad, and I'm so sorry that it's gonna sound so bad. But when I see bylaws, it's kind of, just like you, it's kind of my thing. If I see it, I gotta speak out. Article 12, Section 9. Are you the interim superintendent?
Yes.
Okay, so, thank you for saying that. Article 9, geez, I can say it out loud. 12, Section 9. Vacancy in the superintendent's office due to death, retirement, or discharge, whatever, shall be temporarily filled by the assistant superintendent until such time as the commission has selected a new superintendent.
Yes, this was not.
And what that means is not an interim, it's an actual superintendent. So until then, shouldn't she be the interim?
So, well, we're gonna answer this for you, because we had the attorneys look into this, because we had to ask this question. That bylaw states that it's for these reasons. The VAC has never had and a vacancy in the superintendent position due to resignation.
Right.
So according to the attorneys, that's why it doesn't apply. And according to the attorneys, the reason that Eric accepted the position as the interim superintendent is because two things. Number one, he had stated he is not technically qualified for the job according to the job credentials. And he doesn't want it.
Oh, I know he doesn't.
So-
I know he really doesn't want
He's the
it.
interim superintendent while giving the board an opportunity to conduct a search to appoint a permanent superintendent.
So the word discharge,
Discharge means termination, and am I correct?
it can mean
Attorney Weiss?
termination, let leave, and you can discharge your duties at any time by leave.
Well, that's not going to argue with it.
No, I'm not trying to argue, I'm just, for my clarity.
And that's been brought up and discussed in depth.
Okay, I
So,
agree.
Question. That's a question. Okay, if you've been designated as a watchdog for this group, where have you been all?
I was right there last one.
That's one.
I've been on the
That's one. I've been in
phone.
this for 37 years, never saw it.
Well, I'm only 32. I wasn't born.
But you certainly could have been here earlier, sooner, many meetings ago.
Oh, I got nothing for that. I apologize for that. I got nothing for it. But no, I was just a lot of curiosity. And I know there was, I received an email earlier from one of the Will County residents, and I passed it up, gave it to Jen. And there was questions. I was wondering if those, I didn't see that on the agenda. I was wondering if those questions were going to be answered.
What was the date of that email?
Today, I did this,
Yeah.
I'm probably get it in time for where you're at here. And then it's on the agenda that we're gonna discuss, and that pertains to the attorneys. So that will be
Okay.
section 8A.
And these agendas went out Friday.
Yeah.
So we didn't,
No, that's what I was
no
asking.
way we could change it.
Those
That's
questions
something.
were going to be answered.
No, of course, everything, absolutely everything will be addressed, but we have to move on quick. We have to throw something on the agenda real quick.
No, absolutely. So
We're doing our best to stick with the one.
brother, I know. So with that being said, now that it's been, that everybody that's here, that's represented by a post has a vote, now there's no question whatsoever, well, except for Jack, and I'm glad you're doing better. So I heard, so I'm glad you're doing better. That means everybody now should be listed on the,
Except today's not an today's an executive board meeting.
right, no,
It is not a
I'm saying
commission.
for the commission, where
The
everybody can.
commission of the whole meeting is next month.
Okay.
In addition to that, how many delegates do we have that have actually been?
I don't have the number in front of me. I don't have the number in front of me, but I think we're at either 11 or 13. I gotta double check.
And then.
That many, but that's that have paid, have sent in and told us who the delegates are now show up.
You said,
You don't take-
We don't pay dues, but
We
we
use
Oh,
use dues. But
What
it's,
is-
but it's an old, that's old jargon, so I
We got rid of
understand
that.
Oh, okay.
I understood what he meant, but
You know,
yeah.
those of us who've been around for a while.
Wasn't the board, I'm sorry.
You just got a young dog approach.
Yeah.
I'll be the baby.
Tell them you were just in a different place.
Exactly.
Different.
So, then also, I know there's a lot of delegates to go feedback when he was asking a bunch of delegates. Have we shifted through and seen out of those delegates how everything is written? It says that each federally chartered has to obviously, their home has to be here in Will County. They all have to have at least 15 paid members within their organization. Have we shifted through all that and looked into that? Because that would knock your delegates right down.
We literally hired a position. No, literally
Exactly.
did, to start
To
going
go through all
through,
that, yes.
post by post, organization by organization, because our part-time board, our volunteer board doesn't have the time, and honestly, we process so many claims in the office, we don't have anybody to pull off.
Oh, I
So I hope that we have an excellent answer for you, like in 6 months or a year from now, and she's able to call and actually connect with all those folks, which I would imagine is gonna be a ton of work, but that's why we're paying somebody to do it, because it is important.
I know we have in the past reached out to posts. Some of that was
successful, others just no answer, no response.
Yeah.
Oh, I get that.
So-
I was just wondering.
It's gonna require
every-
like driving
Yeah,
around.
Because I know there's a lot of organizations on the Will County part alone, and I can tell you, there's a lot of them that probably don't have 15 paid members per bylaws. So that would knock down a lot of your delegates.
Right, yeah.
Well,
We're
so
not-
I'm the one, let me answer this part, because I did this already with, Elisa. We've gone through and tried to find every veterans organization in Will County.
That's federally chartered?
Every one, federally chartered, every single one. We sent out letters. We did everything that we could to contact every one of them. I had a list of, I think I had a list of about 35 total. Several I ended up getting in contact with personally and found out that, yeah, they don't really exist. They don't really have members.
Right.
They're not really around kind of thing. So how many of those are left? You know, can't say, don't know at this point.
Right, I'm just bringing this up because, you're taking over a new regime from what has happened, we're trying to take, which is a great thing that you and your office are doing. Just want to make sure that when you do it, you do everything.
We're starting.
Flip it 180
Yeah.
degrees.
Yeah, that's
Forms. You have double relief. You got double.
No, I'm not telling you to force them.
You won't send somebody.
right.
You can't drag somebody here.
No, I'm not telling you to force them to come here.
It's about information. We're in the process of getting the information, pretty much everything you just said, we're working on it.
No, I get it.
It's things that take time, but they have been addressed within our office, and we'll have answers. That's
That's all I asked. That's all I asked, is we were asked to do it, when that guy sent out the.
Oh, whenever there's a changing of the guard, there's always gonna be a thorough examination
Right.
of pretty much every aspect.
Right.
That's exactly what happened.
Especially when you're successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially when you're in office as big as ours, so it's gonna be a thorough examination of every aspect of what we do.
Definitely.
We're in the process of doing that.
So just so you know, I have the list that Denise talked about. I have it right here in the notebook. One of the next things that Hannah, and we also have additional information that we've gathered on forms during recent meetings. So we are working it.
Yeah.
It is being worked. It's not forgotten. We're gonna get there, but there's a lot of stuff right now.
I appreciate that.
Speaking of procedural, usually when we do public comment or we receive your information, there would be no time, no
That's why I was-
conversation
that's
back
why
and
I
forth,
asked.
so this is why I said you do that the rules. You're here today, we want to talk with you. But in the spirit of moving on to our actual
Oh, I'm
agenda,
done.
are you okay now
I'm done.
to move on? All right, excellent, so go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
I have a discussion point on that.
Okay.
On the item, under new business, item 7, it says members Beneke and Blue recommendations on professional recruiting firm. We weren't recommending that we use a recruiting firm. Our task was to find out if there were recruiting firms, and we did that. And of the ones we found, this is the one we
Janet, the way I read this as an English teacher, is that you were giving your recommendation, because that was your task. So you didn't recommend that we have to have a firm, but you had some firms that you found.
Right, okay, if
That's
that's
how I
how you
read
read
it.
it, then that's fine by me. I just wanted to make sure that
That's
we
a
weren't
good point, though.
recommending we use that. We were just going through the task that we had, giving you our best judgment.
You're right, that was just slightly different syntax.
Yeah. Thank you, that's all.
Any other comments? Okay. 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 Motion passed. Special meeting goals, April 26th.
I don't have a copy of those, but I didn't include them in the packet.
So let's, can I make a motion to either table that or put it on next month's agenda? That's what I put it.
Second to table.
Second.
So, got a motion to table, so, through meeting,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Table. Next up is the superintendent's report.
All right, so should have a copy of the award log summary. I didn't read the full package, but to review it, do you have any questions on those numbers? No, that's- So this is the award log. Any questions on those numbers? Let's see, total benefit received since 2015, 122 million. But the more important ones are the individual years. For 2022, projected total as of now is 32 million. That's including the recurring awards, new awards as of this date, 26 million. And those are just the ones that come back to us. So as you know, we don't have a tracking mechanism within the VA that tells us when one of our decisions are made. So we gotta wait for our veterans to come back or for us to do our individual claim audits and get updates on our claims. So the number is absolutely higher than that, but we just don't have any method of tracking until the VA lets us access their.
It's a projection for the year.
The new annual is year to date, so that's until today. The recurring awards, that's from last year, plus what we made this year as recurring. So that is a full year.
Is that awarded at the normal rate or?
We're still rolling claims out in between 4 to 6 months. Going pretty good. Most of the blue water claims are kind of dwindling down. We have had some large payouts, but those are mainly from appeals that we won with the BDA. So I'd say they're still pretty much on par. They're pretty level. I haven't seen much that would change that.
Questions on the award? Board?
We need to approve each.
Yeah. Okay, I need a motion to approve award one.
Motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Moving on to Project 150 report. That is the hotel that we're putting our homeless veterans in temporarily. We have a 30-day limit right now. For emergency shelter, we spent $101,195.30 remaining. We have $48,000 left in ESG CD funded grants. We've got a section later on to talk about what we do with that, but it's working well. We're coordinating with the other organizations to make sure that our veterans get housed and taken care of and linked up with other organizations within that 30-day period. We did have a discussion, and it is within our ability to extend that 30 days if it is requested by the social worker or the organization that the veteran is working with. So the veteran's been going along with everything we say, but the organization says, hey, I need another week before his house is ready. All right, we can extend it for another week just so he's not living out of his car in the interim. We're bridging that gap there.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So about how many people does that represent?
We have 5 people in the hotel right now. 2 of them entered in April, 3 entered in May, the most recent of which I think was actually today. So numbers aren't big, but that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. 5 total.
One of them before that, 10, 12, 18?
No,
No, I don't think we ever had that
it
many.
never went above 9.
Yeah, I don't think it.
And that was in the high.
Even in code, I don't think we went above that.
Did you tell about the FEMA grant? So we were approved for a $30,000 FEMA grant. We had the $60,000 before that covers 30 days also. So we were discussing, obviously with your approval, to use that in lieu of the ESG. There was discussion and I talked to Marta over at land use that we can transfer what's left in the ESG for the housing over to salary to bring in the outreach person. So I'm working on the final numbers for that, but we do have a backup for FEMA that would cover the hotel costs if we do choose, if you agree to move what's remaining in the hotel from the ESG over to salary to bring in an outreach person, and that has been extended for a year.
Your funding deadline,
So FEMA, our ESG's been extended for a year, which would cover that gap. So that's why we're looking at running the salary, so we could bring somebody in, because right now there's only 19,000 left. That's not gonna pay for somebody, so we can move the money that's in from the hotels and the shelter to the salary, and then use FEMA to cover the hotel instead.
So you're talking, taking the ESG money and moving that to the hotel program? And
So taking the ESG money right now that's in the hotel, moving it over to salaries to bring in the outreach person. It was branding, we called it the branding grant. And then using the FEMA grant in lieu of the ESG to cover, because the FEMA grant is approximately what's left in the ESG hotel money too. So it's running here to pay Paul, but to pay for another position for the outreach person. And I'll get final numbers
And we've
instead of
already
there.
got it. We've already got grants, so. Still a problem. We'll take all of it.
so do we have a vote on this in order to approve this?
I don't know if it's.
I'll get two numbers so we can put it on the agenda.
Okay, I thought it,
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch up, I'm fine.
I'll get the numbers, final numbers for this.
So when we have it on the agenda for next month to approve it, you could make sure we have, something. That's good.
Yeah, written out. We can have it.
I wondered if it's necessary for us to vote on each of these individually. We have hold this, hold approve.
Richard, what, you mean, are you on C, financial
Which is
assistance?
gonna be.
No, we're on B.
Oh, you mean between the two numbers?
It's the three separate categories,
Okay, C is covered. Already.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my point of order was that we normally just approve the superintendent's report.
Right.
So if we want to do it differently, that's fine. Board votes are okay.
Certainly clearer for the
Right.
record.
It's
Right.
clear
So
for the
then-
record.
So then voting on project 150.
Yes, we're voting on B.
All right, motion to approve the project 150 report.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Opposed? Financial assistance.
All right, so, as you know, we do our monthly financial assistance. We have the FA numbers right here. We did present this a little differently. I think it's a lot easier to, read. Thank you, Jen. Shows exactly how much for shelter, gas, electric, and water, as well as personal needs for the month of March. You can see the numbers on there: $17.50 for shelter, $130.65 for gas, $397.31 for electric. Water is $224.26. Personal needs $225, and nothing for food because everybody's been qualified for the SNAP program.
Remember, for the benefit month, it says March, it's March, because we pay a month in arrears, and since we're in the May, I don't have the numbers for April until May, so that's why the benefit month is March, even though we're in May. Yes, sir.
These are the same numbers you got in the other report format, just easier to read. Less lines. Less lines to ignore.
Okay, unless there's any more comments, questions on
All right.
motion approved?
Motion to approve the financial assistance report.
All in favor? Opposed? Next item on the agenda is new business. First item, question of audit.
We had the auditor come in and we spoke with the auditor. Before Christie left, she requested that there be.
The auditor is a Will County auditor?
Yes, the Will County
auditor
auditor.
firm?
No, the Will County auditor. We had Duffy come in. And, basically, the superintendent can't request an audit. It has to come from a vote, a motion, and pass through the board. So if we want to have an audit, which I advise, which they advise everybody, I mean, whenever you change the guard, let's start with a fresh, clean slate. So we have the auditor's office go through the records, go through the files, make sure everything's up to stuff. But they did say that approval needed to be coming from the board. So that's what brings us here.
So board member, I'd like to make a motion to request an audit from Will County.
Second.
Okay, and now we say.
Any discussion, questions?
I find it really helpful when the auditors came and explained exactly what they were doing and not doing. Because I think, you expect them to do absolutely everything, but in fact, it worked out that they were auditing it, they weren't necessarily telling us what the issue is, they were just auditing what was there, so we could see what was there and what wasn't there. So I think it's a really great.
The intention of the last question, we gave a good presentation, explained, great to us, asked our questions. Have a recommendation. We have a motion to approve. The voice will all. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any motion passed. No request, but.
I'll get on that.
Next item is upcoming expenses.
All right, these are just small things. In order to put anything on the credit card, we need to have a board approval for it. So the first thing on the list, well, this isn't going to credit card, this is part of our thing, but it is a larger, not a normal expense, but new locks on the VAC doors throughout this process. It kind of came to light that we've had 12 employees come and go just in the past 5 years.
And I don't have all the keys.
So, new locks would be appropriate. The estimate from Bays, who owns the building, is about $1,000. So the request is to authorize payments of $1,000 for new locks for doors.
In our office, we have donations, we have all the gift cards, we have things of monetary value that anybody with a key could appear to come in and pay.
Motion to approve $1,000 expense for loss on VAC doors.
All in favor?
I have
No,
a question.
question.
One question. So is a lock the only option? Is there a, can we put a keypad on it, so we're not changing the locks all the time?
So we have a keypad coming into the main office, if you remember coming in, that's a control entry point, but actually coming into the office, it would be, and I can show,
That's
but
about changing over to keypad. It's,
probably be more money, but I can get a quote if you want for the differentiation, but we already have the system.
Well,
I'll
the
see if
reason
there's
I
a cost
suggest that
difference.
is if we get other people leave, are we gonna change the locks every time, or, that was my question. If with a keypad, you don't need to just put another number.
Right, we do about every.
every dozen.
No, I'm sorry, I'll ask them for.
I'd be interested in the comparison.
Because there's 5 doors that have to be changed, so there's 2 for the front, and then the additional 3, so it's 5.
Right.
So I don't know the cost per key, but I can ask them for that.
Wayne?
Can you all-
Changing the front doors, there's other people with that door.
No, we don't have not the outside doors, just the office.
Can you check to see if it's possible to get a rekeyable lock? So I have in my home is I could change the key for someone house it.
Right, so that's
Yeah.
another option.
All right,
Yeah.
so we'll
Another couple
Table
hundred
that.
dollars maybe.
table that until next time when we get some estimates for repeatable locks
Right,
and.
Yeah, one last comment, we're gonna come back with 2 different quotes for new locks, repeatable locks, and padlocks. I also, or padlocks, I also wanna find out, what is the estimated time for us moving the Copperfield?
So as of now, they did say, we extended the lease for a year in May of this month, and correct me if I'm wrong, I heard it switched back here to May of 2023, and who knows how long I
That's the
do.
last I heard.
Okay, the only reason I wanted to mix that in is just because I love getting at lots, but just something you might consider moving next month. So I'm already learned that information, really useful. So I'll make a motion to table, the new locks on the AC doors.
Second.
Who seconded it?
All in favor?
Aye.
A. Table.
All right, the next one, just additional funds for the iPads, that,
The iPad, is that just at the other page?
not without, well, since we don't have our own credit card, we have to go to the county.
I
So
understand that, but
So it doesn't.
if it runs out, it's,
it doesn't happen for us because we have to get authorization to spend every time.
If it runs out, it goes through. So I have access to come and make sure that we're up to, say right now we have about $30 left, so we're paying about $40 at a time. So it's good to have monthly.
Can I ask who has the iPads? Where it sits on your?
So the iPads are in our 2 vehicles that we have, both vans, and then I have access to the iPads account, so I can keep track. Before, when we had the credit card, it used to just automatically renew. But now we have to get permission from the board, we submit it to the executive office, they pay for it, they have to get gift cards, they send it to me, I can put it on our account, it's now a 6-week ordeal, so we have to stay ahead. And we're going to about $40, so we have the 2 vehicles with the iPads.
So what we're doing with this money is we're putting it on there, it's like paying it ahead already.
Correct,
And
yep,
then every month we'll go through this.
yeah, exactly.
So we could either do the regular $30 or $40 increments, or we could go for larger 200 and then just be good for a while. It's more discussion.
So,
monthly?
12 a month.
well,
Because it's a new, I would suggest maybe doing $100, so then we could do it every 3 months instead of having,
that's my mind, I was like, what would a quarterly amount be?
because I don't want him to run out because it's more expensive if he does go through and I don't catch it in time versus if we have a cushion on there.
But there's also a grace period, right, where you, if you pay
Stay
it
in Illinois,
30
and
days.
it's no grace period.
I've been in that grace period, I
Right,
should
no,
say.
in other words, I don't know, so I would rely on Rick to tell me if he did, because I don't just arbitrarily check to see, I mean, I'll check like once a week to see where we are, especially if we're driving a lot, but I could, yeah. But again, we don't have a credit card to put on that grace period and charge it from.
So, yeah, I have a motion here to pay it at $100.
That'll be
for
good for
rate
her.
cookers.
Yeah.
Did you make that motion?
I'll make that.
I, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
A. None. $100. Future meeting schedule.
Okay, this is a lot of conversation. As we know, the executive board can meet at the VAC. The special, or the, full commission meetings are gonna have to be held somewhere else because we don't have facilities for it. However, in accordance with OMA, we are required to post the time, date, time, and location of every appointment for the year at the beginning of the year. We don't have a website, so we are using the county's website. And as of right now, all our board meetings are at the VAC. So if we change, what's that? Yeah, on the website it says VAC at 7 a.m. because that was last updated during the COVID when we were doing the, and it had the WebEx link to it, which we don't use anymore because we're no longer doing meetings remotely. So essentially, my understanding is that we have to have all of our meetings at the VAC unless there's a reason to say we will not have enough room. We won't have enough room here because we do not have a long-term schedule planned out right now for it. So it's better to wait off on the traveling board until next year because I think we need, a reason to do that.
Well, I think it's great to get out to different posts, because that's how you tell people what's going on, and it also helps transparency, because you're talking about stuff when they're in the room versus reading it on missing meetings. So I'm in favor of the commission for being post. I'm not in favor of them all being in Plainfield. Because it took 2 hours to get here today. We need some in Eastern Will County as well. And there are 2 posts that are very happy to host, 3, Frankfurt, Moni, and Peterton.
Yes.
Are happy to host them. So, we can have them on our.
Oh, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I'm up for it.
Yeah, my question is just, in accordance with OMA, how do we do that in accordance with OMA at this specific time?
So my question on the OMA is gonna be this, those, that was put on the website, all of that was done under pandemic rules. Pandemic rules changed so much did not apply, that would normally apply, and what did apply then, it doesn't apply now. And there's a question on that too, and I don't know, because the governor just, again, extended the disaster proclamation to the end of this month. So I don't know how much
So
we're still under.
This might clarify, Chris, we had to respond to an OMA violation today for that specific, because our dates and times were not accurately posted on.
Right.
So we do need to update it because we no longer are offering the Zoom link, so it no longer falls under the disaster proclamation.
I understand, but my question is since we've got all of these other things to have to change, we're gonna change the time, correct?
It's up to you guys, because obviously
And
there's a
we're
lot
gonna
of.
we're gonna be changing the time, I'm going to assume, because I don't know who here can make us a in-person meeting in the VAC.
Right, so for June, we're hoping that we can have it figured out for the remainder of the year, so we can post it, it's whatever you guys decide, location, time, we just need to know, so we can have it publicly posted, available.
Is there a reason why we can't decide it now?
I think we are gonna decide it.
Yeah, okay.
So I meant, so for June, we can have it posted.
So we need to figure out, are we always doing the second Tuesday at 5?
No.
When was the last time the annual schedule was posted?
Would have been January, because
January
under
this year.
COVID.
So your plan is to post the next annual in
We're gonna post it at the end of December.
But we also need to update the remainder of this year.
You need to update the remainder of this year, but the plan that you put out to the public under the OMA, January was, that it would always be,
At the VAC,
At the VAC.
with the web Zoom link.
so you need to update
That.
that. Now, you could put it out, again, annually, whenever annually, doesn't necessarily
We can
have to be
update the
January.
website anytime we need to.
Yeah, the website's a secondary issue,
But it has to be within a certain amount of time.
but we have to have 10 days.
Yeah.
Statute. So the statute, we have to put at least 10 days notice, we have to back up at least 10 days from the next meeting that we have planned, which is a commission meeting next month. Correct. So we have to come at least 10 days before that, publicly posting it.
Right.
Publishing,
Yeah, technically it says.
yeah, in the newspaper, we have to publish that.
So first things first, let's get a standing time,
Right.
and then we'll talk about location.
6 p.m. no earlier.
Okay, so 6 p.m. on the second
No
Tuesday?
earlier.
6 p.m. on Tuesdays could be tricky because of all post meetings. I know our post meets on a Tuesday at 6 p.m.
So it doesn't have to be Tuesday. It could be another day.
I just looked up in Frankfurt, supposed to be on Thursday.
When's your post meeting, Frankfurt?
On Thursday.
Okay, so
I don't think you want me to tell Mondays.
At this point?
Yeah, we could
Yeah.
change dates
Okay.
or times or locations.
So if we weren't gonna do the second Tuesday, would we do the second Thursday then? If we had to switch the day, we could stay in the same week, but we might wanna switch it because we had it at, are you talking about Moni? For example, we might say, well, we're gonna go to Moni this month, so we're gonna do it on Thursday because they're posting meetings on Tuesday. It would be nice if this is on Thursday, because they're about to have a closing meeting or whatever.
my problem with that is if we're changing the day of the week and we keep changing it, then it's not as easy to, it's not, keeping it consistent is important. So the second Tuesday of the month is so many closed meetings. What if we did, or the third, whatever it is,
We
what if we
used
do
to
the
do
first,
the third Tuesday.
what if we do the first Tuesday or the third Tuesday or whatever else?
But every post.
What's the county? What about the first Tuesday?
I can't get it. I can't make it.
First Tuesday?
We used to do the third Tuesday.
If you were to run the project.
Third Tuesday?
My post, your post can't do it.
If we propose the third Tuesday,
So you have a full commission next month, which has any membership of members of the places that we're talking about wanting to go. So my question is,
Should we
how is
publish
third
just for the next
Tuesday?
one, but they're not here, the answer, they're not all in the room. We've got Plainfield, I've got a couple others in the room,
We're gonna lose one or two every
I
meeting
think
you
it's important that the executive board always be able to attend, right? And then as far as the members go, we're never gonna get a day that all the members can attend. Ever.
If you change the location, you have it in this size, for the VAC office. For all of these new commission members.
But we can make them all the same time, all 6 o'clock or whatever time.
That's what I was saying, is if we could streamline the time, I think that would be helpful. So I propose third Tuesday at 6 p.m. They will all be at the VAC offices except for June, September, and December, which are full commission meetings.
And we have the elections in October. Is that during the normal VAC meeting?
That should be commission meeting.
So that would be, June, September.
Yeah, that's our annual meeting.
So
that would-
October.
Yeah, so October, I wouldn't even do it to the commission, I just think annual meeting, and that's the same.
So that would be June, September, and October.
And December.
And December.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now, seeing as we are here speaking with the Plainfield American Legion, we have our June meeting here so that we know where it is, and then we'll come in June with the places for September, October, and December.
That's gonna be the
Third Tuesday.
I'm sorry, I missed.
Third Tuesday in June.
You zoned out, no problem.
Let me check the schedule real quick, see if we have anything set up for that.
Is that big about?
Oh,
Amanda,
So
Amanda.
we can approve on these on the third Tuesday.
Oh, good.
Bingo's Thursdays.
I was thinking about saying that one for like September.
Yeah,
That's fine too,
But then we also have to do October and December.
September's fine as well.
Just because they're here.
I just don't think Plainfield is a good idea 3 times a month.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. So on third Tuesdays, are we always good or just in June? Like you wanted to instead do September, October, December?
You talking about the full commission meetings?
Yeah.
Use the third Tuesdays, right?
6 o'clock.
Yes, it's 6 o'clock. What about September?
We're good, third Tuesday. We're good to the end of the year for third Tuesday here.
All right, so we're gonna say September here, Plainfield.
Can I ask though?
You said, Janet, you said June is Mohi, VFW or Legion?
I said, Legion.
Legion.
But can we ask other posts? I mean, Manhattan said they wanted to, Pearson said they wanted to.
Yeah, y'all wanna do one?
That's a volunteer once in a while.
I just think we need to spread it out.
Do you wanna do Lockport in October? That's a nice central location for the county, for the annual meeting.
Good for that, Jack?
Look at it down, we should be on there. We don't have much.
We're good, if we have to fix it, we can. All right, so June is Mohi Legion, September is Plainfield Legion.
I'm sorry, I still disagree on things. I think there's many more legions that we need to touch.
So, do you want to agree then for next month for me, and then
We'll
we
write
have
our-
10 days to change it, then they'll give everybody who come up with some ideas,
Yeah.
contact.
We'll write
and
our
then we
schedule and
can-
present it at the
Yeah.
next meeting.
Yeah.
So let's get the
So
next
Lisa,
meeting.
we said June then, Mohi, I love it. All right, her name is Joe.
Bonnie, and I will get the legion commander.
The one from the Legion.
Correct.
Okay. So, June, American Legion only. And then we'll talk about
Six o'clock.
Are we going
It's
6 or 5?
Yes, 6 p.m., no earlier. It's work for everybody.
Any more comments on time? 6 p.m. is gonna be it. You don't need to vote on this. Okay.
OMA,
Yeah.
OMA training for board members, this is something we need to get done, so if you need the, link to it, contact me, and I'll get you guys the links that you can go through the OMA training and get certified there. That was more of an announcement.
Yeah, Eric, could you just clarify for us, was that training mandatory or was it?
Yes, it is
So we
mandatory.
should have all done it.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Mandatory now.
Regardless.
so what I'm gonna ask for is, if you can send out the link to the OMA trainings. When you finish the OMA trainings, then the secretary, well, I guess, Aaron, you're gonna end up with that too, but the secretary has to receive all the OMA certs. I never got them before. I got one, ever, from one person.
And we will retain them in the office.
And here,
In our-
And this is
That's
right.
an annual requirement.
So if we can get that out, that'd be really great.
okay, ready to, move this. This item is a special executive committee legal service.
All right, so, we hired a lawyer to do an investigation into all the allegations. The point of that is so that we have an outside organization that can verify, clear everything, or explain to us what's wrong so we can fix it. Wayne?
You say allegations, and these are writing these allegations.
What was that?
Are all of these allegations in writing?
Yeah, that's
Why have
through
they
the,
been passed up?
through the OMA. I know you got a copy of the OMA. Not the, not the OMA, I'm sorry, the FOIA. The FOIA requests and the emails that were sent out to every post in the state, pretty much.
What legal allegations are there? Being sued? Are we-
No legal course has been taken yet,
Why are we doing
because these are allegations, they need to be clear. We need to get this off of our desks so we can make sure, just be completely open about everything and say that, look, this is what happened, this is how it happened. If it's a problem, this is how we're fixing it.
Maybe accusations instead of allegations.
Accusations, I guess. Okay.
allegations?
Legally,
Well, my question has been, since this whole thing started, I've been
Speak up,
one of
Wayne.
the leading advocates for hiring our own attorney.
Wayne, louder.
I was one of the leading advocates for hiring an attorney for our organization. When I read the resumes for all of these individuals, it said, we are being investigated, and now we've hired an attorney to investigate us. Why? That's what it said on the resumes.
we are not being investigated as of right now, that I know of. We
If
are,
you read the resumes, that's what it says. The
Read the
emails that went with those
resumes,
resumes, the
the-
emails that went with those resumes, said we are being investigated.
closest thing to an official investigation that we've got on us right now is when we're gonna hire the auditor, or we're gonna ask the auditor to audit our office.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, and that's part of it. We're
What is this attorney
we wanna be,
for us?
we wanna be absolute open and absolute in our answers. Right now, we don't have all the information. We don't have the right, tools to get answers that are adequate to address all of the accusations that are being laid down. So that's what the firm is,
This attorney, we're hired.
yes, they work for us.
This board.
They work for us, yes, the board. Yeah, for the board,
How often are they gonna give us?
as often as we need it. I
Do we
mean,
have a
we'll,
contract, this legal firm? Did you guys have
Yes.
a contract? Yes. So here's, the board needs to see the contract. We have this.
Okay.
And we have to, before they can start an investigation, my understanding, this is a conversation before, the board has to approve the contract with this firm. See, the authorization was get to the firm, agree on a price, agree on an hourly rate, and then the board receives the contract, the board approves the contract, signs off on it, and then it's done and it's hired. But that's what we have to do. Part of that is, in that contract, is we need to see what the scope of the investigation is. I think that that's kind of what, you know, will answer some of the questions that you're asking, Wayne, because it's the same questions that I have. I want to know, what is the scope of the investigation? Are they investigating everything the board wants them to? Because it's the allegations, accusations, however you want to put it, is against the board. It's not against the staff, it is against the board. There are individual allegations as well against staff, but you know what? That's staff that's no longer part of the board, part of the office. So, not really sure what to do with that. That's somebody else to figure that out. The bottom line is, this board, accusations were made against this board that we did not do our job, that we did not do due diligence, that we failed in our fiduciary responsibility somehow, that we failed, that there was malfeasance or whatever else. And those accusations against this board need to be addressed. And that's the reason for the attorney. But is that what the scope of the investigation is? And my understanding is there was a meeting, the board is hiring this legal firm. Jack, there was a meeting? Who else was in the meeting?
No, she wasn't there, no.
No, I wasn't there. Who else was in the meeting when you interviewed this firm, and was the contract signed?
Yeah. So.
Okay, well,
Lisa, Chris.
Look at the minutes from the last meeting. Whoever was there are the people that made the decision.
right, but
And the contract wasn't done that day because they needed information to put the contract together.
so that's what I'm asking, is there a contract yet?
I don't know.
That's
Just-
the major
Recently,
Yes,
That's what I'm asking.
because
yeah, it was, yeah.
if it was yesterday, we have to have at least 48 hours to put it on an agenda.
Right,
So it's not gonna happen until the next agenda.
so then does that answer your question? Does that, I mean,
Are we gonna see the contract before the agenda?
Yeah.
Well, it should be in the package as you prepare for your next meeting.
so
I
it's at
received
the
it
next
after the
meeting?
packages went out,
Okay,
because, yeah, because the meeting was actually today.
Well, I doubt it. I think if you asked Eric.
Say again? Well, it'll be included in the next board meeting.
Before the next meeting, I wanna see it.
Okay. Sorry.
Do we need to table this to vote on it next month, or can we just leave it?
What are we voting?
This,
The special exec committee selected legal services.
No, he's been selected. We did that the last
So we don't have
meeting.
to vote on this, we just want
this is
to
just an update.
approve the contract on the next agenda.
Right.
All right.
We might.
I'm sorry, I haven't heard that.
It's gonna be on next one. We're gonna get the contract, right, via email, staff?
Yep.
That's all board.
is that right?
That's all board members.
Voting
Correct.
Right, well,
Just the vote.
It is not a public record until it's approved, so. Right, but it is what it is.
every member, as you said, has a vote.
I don't, but what I was making the distinction that I am
Oh.
so that I am not a voting member, so I would not be copied on the email because it is, again, where the line is, so that's. Because it's not a public record, I'm not a voting member, so. Get it.
Alright, so I'm gonna approve the contract. Alright, so you wanna call a special executive meeting to finish up with that, so we can get that approved and taken care of quickly, and not spend any more time on it today?
Do we want to have the next, or do we want to wait till next month? And I have an opinion on here, and I'm not saying it, but
still have to go over the bylaws, still have to go over the IG and everything else, so can that wait until next month, or do you want to have a special?
That's the question. That's the question.
Can we do this stuff next month, the rest of the agenda, or do we need to have a special meeting in between?
Chris, Amanda, ask, Chris, what you were gonna say something?
Well, if there's some question about whether we're gonna approve the contract, we need to know that sooner rather than later, because we want these people to get moving on this.
So then.
And if I were them, I would, in fact, I think we should call them and say, because I thought this was settled. We hired these people, at the last meeting, that we had a quorum, people were notified.
But we didn't see an agreement.
The agreement,
All day long, we don't see an agreement in a contract,
you can't know what the agreement is until they get the parameters of what they're being asked to do.
I wasn't at the last meeting, and we don't have the minutes, so I'm gonna defer to your judgment. We can set this one down.
We don't.
Don't have the minutes, but the special executive committee selected individual.
So this kind of is what it is, and we're wasting our last 7 minutes talking about it. Let's move to the next agenda item.
We have to make a decision here. Are we gonna call a special executive meeting in another week? We have to, well, executive board meeting, we can call it with 48 hours notice. So right now, pick a date and a time next week to get this done. No, this is in person. So next Tuesday, on the 17th, at the VAC office at 6 p.m. Does that work for everybody?
And everybody, do you want to just send an email and everybody can let it know, you can send the agenda out?
Let's propose that,
Let's propose
Okay.
it, well,
So I'll send one of those emails where everybody, it's a when to meet thing.
but we'll say within the next 2 weeks. It should be.
Absolutely. We'll try next week. I understand.
Yeah.
They say we've got a couple minutes left.
All right, quick DCEO grant. There's a $250,000 grant that we received. However, it is limited to new builds only. We have no new build projects. So there's nothing we can do with that. I believe when Christy got it, she was planning on doing something different. It's gone. That's, yeah, but
We can go into detail next month.
it's not.
Okay.
IGA, you wanna go over that?
That's
or
gonna go
not?
in this one.
Table that for special executive.
The bylaws.
Yeah, I just wanted to update the group on the position description for the superintendent's job. I have updated that using the other counties from Illinois. I also updated a lot of the ADA and other things that were kind of old and iffy, because I don't think we should be bothered that somebody has a handicap. The one question I have, and other folks have asked me that question, is our current position description states that a bachelor's degree is required. Other counties across Illinois range from GED to bachelor's to a mix of experience or education. It is not included in our bylaws. The statute of the bylaws states that you're required to be a veteran, honorable discharge. It does not say anything about educational requirements. I would like to ask the board if we can alter the position description to include education and or experience, combination thereof, and bring, and I understand that maybe we get more people to look at. If I'm volunteering to look at those, I'm okay with that, but others need to volunteer for that work as well.
If I missed the meeting on the 26th, are we ready to go live with this? Have we made a decision how we have to go live with this?
So we're gonna go through the Will County
We're doing it
for first shot. Is
Sorry,
what
again, I don't have the
understood from the
minutes to
last.
look at, so I'd love to.
Yeah, from the last meeting, we're gonna go through Will County for the first shot, and we are going to plead with all of our partners out there in veterans organizations to share as widely as we can with our veteran community that this position is open and available and try to
Just
drive
wondered
as
if
many
any decision was
positions.
made, so I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, there are 3 nonprofit organizations that target nonprofits. But in my research, I can't really find that there's a particular overlap between the veteran community and people looking for jobs in nonprofits. So I'm not sure that spending money, I wouldn't recommend that be our first shot.
I'm super supportive, I was just curious.
Alright,
I'd
so-
like to make a motion that we, amend the bylaws to say.
Not the bylaws, just the
The PD for this position, to make it education and or experience, that's the intent.
I'm second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, running quick through the good of the commission. Housing Wednesday is now back on. They're gonna have our first meeting tomorrow. We'll be bringing in the other organizations within the county to help house veterans, where we can do it on a one-on-one basis. Van wraps, we had $784.29 credit on van wraps after the Joliet Township grant. We discussed it with Joliet, they approved, they wanted us to get, craft show items, swag bags to hand out to veterans, at the outreach outreach events. Outreach, we have Tuesday, you can see the report, fundraiser, the Beer and Bourbon Fest, if anybody wants to volunteer to work the gate at Beer and Bourbon Fest, let me know. We do need volunteers, and that's gonna be fun. Motion. Anybody got a motion to adjourn?
What, real quick, Lockport American Legion Unit 18 would like to donate to the DAC $250 towards the.
All right, motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Who made the motion?
I did, I made the motion.
Okay. Somebody just said they got the name right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And I just remember the pop, you know, let's spend there, and stuff, it's just doesn't even seem right. Yeah, we can take that later.
I got this one here that didn't pick up.
Professional one.